What's going on, guys? My name is Ben and welcome back to another video. Today I bring you the first major expense for my Porsche Boxster S. Now, quite a lot of you, since I've owned the car, have been asking me what are the general running costs of owning a Porsche Boxster S, and that is something I would definitely go in more depth with in a future video. However, I thought I would document the first major-ish kind of expense I have had with the car. Now, don't worry, the car isn't broken, the engine hasn't blown up or anything like that. It is purely just a wear and tear item, which I will show you in a minute. Before I show you that, I just want to show you around to the back of the car, because if you have seen the car in person, or maybe you've noticed it in kind of older B-roll, you will have noticed that the exhaust tip was rather wonky. Now, before, there was a giant gap between that and the bottom of the bumper, so it was practically facing the floor. To kind of fix that, I've essentially replaced two clamps under there, which control the kind of pitch of it, if you like. So there's a clamp on the left, a clamp on the right, and they are in there, really shiny. The old ones were corroded badly. One of them was cracked and it looked like someone had tried to weld one up. So that has completely transformed the rear end and looks so much better. Say, people who saw the car in person, that was one of the first things they noticed, and it did drive me insane. However, let me show you the first kind of thing that needs replacing on the Boxster. So it's around the front, and if we look at the front tyres, as you can see, they are pretty, well, in fact they are flush with the markers, and if you notice, they are bold from the inside almost to the middle, so they are pretty much illegal. And driving this car at the front end feel, it pretty much feels like it's skating all over the road. So yeah, they desperately need changing. So that's what I am doing today, and I know everyone is staying at home, and that is something that I have been doing as well, only popping out for essentials. However, I feel this is quite essential in itself, because I use this car to go to and from the shops to get the essential food I need. And yeah, if I get pulled with tyres like that, it's not going to go down well, is it? So that is what I'm going to be replacing today. Let's jump in the car, head over to the F1 Auto Centre, which is literally a 4-mile drive from my house, so nice and local, to get the new tyres, and I will jump into the costs and what tyres I've gone for whilst we're out on the road. In the Boxster S then, and we have a 10-minute drive over to the tyre shop, and I'll kind of bring you a before and after of what the car drives like, because at the minute it's not the best. Now, the good thing is that where I live and my kind of commute over to the tyre shop is all B roads essentially. So it's a 5-mile journey of about, yeah, it says there on Google Maps, 5 miles across some B roads. So it gives me a chance to enjoy the car once again, which is something I haven't been able to do for a number of weeks now. But will also convey how the car handles now on its kind of current tyre setup. So as you saw from the intro, the tyres on the front are massively worn from the inside out, so essentially the tracking and alignment is fully out, and you can feel that when you're driving. The car feels like it kind of tram lines a bit. You're driving a straight line, but you can feel the car pulling from left to right. So it's not all that engaging or inspiring to drive. So these tyres are massively overdue, and it is something I've wanted to do for a while. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to getting the new tyres on. The tyres I've gone for are essentially the same ones that are on the car. Well, in fact, the ones that are on the car are Continental Sport Contact 5s. I have gone for Sport Contact 6s. I'm not entirely sure what the differences are. Well, the difference is of course one, but apart from that, it's going to be a brand new tyre. Obviously they need to kind of bed in a bit, but I think from the first kind of drive, I should be able to notice a big difference. So let's crack on with these beautiful B roads and head on over to F1 Auto Centre. So I've just left the Formula One Auto Centre with my new Continental Sport Contact 6s installed to the front of the car. So although the tyres will need bedding in, it will give me a little indication during this 5-mile drive home of how much better the car will handle, and say like before, the car would pull itself kind of all over the road. The tracking was out, and I didn't actually get the tracking done when I lowered the car by 35 mil. I did mean to, but the garage ran out of time, and then it just, yeah. So anyway, some nice B roads on the way back to my house, which will really put the tyres through their paces and see what they're like. So let's do some driving. Driving in a straight line then, straight off the bat, I can already feel that the car is no longer pulling me from left to right. It does feel a lot more direct, and I will throw it into some corners in a moment to see how effective that has been. But straight away, pretty positive change, as you would expect. The car does feel a lot more direct. I'm not having to work the steering wheel as hard, it's staying still as it should, and I'm quite impressed. Obviously the tracking was something the car needed, but also the added grip I now have from the front tyres just give me that added confidence to throw the car into some bends. So then, how much did I pay for 2 replacement tyres for the Porsche Boxster S? I get asked on quite a regular basis as to what are the kind of typical running costs with this car, so I thought why not document what I've paid today. So it's worth mentioning that I have spent a lot of time kind of researching different brands of tyres such as Pirelli, Michelin and things like that. However, I did go with the Continental Contact 6s purely because it's Continental on the rear as well, and I do like all 4 of my tyres to match brand. I also spent a bit of time kind of researching and trying to find the best deal, obviously looking on sites like Black Circles, Asda Tyres and National Tyres and Autocare, places like that, just to get the best deal, and Formula One Auto Centres were the cheapest. So for both of the front tyres with balancing and disposal of the old tyres, came to a total of £183, so it's roughly £90 a tyre, which compared to all the other online sites and shops, these guys come out trumps with the cheapest brand really. Other places for the same tyre were asking about £120 per tyre, so I am very, very happy with that deal indeed. Now, especially as it has completely transformed the handling characteristics of the Porsche. Say it was only a short drive back home, however, I'm sure as soon as we all can come out of quarantine and lockdown, that I'll be able to push the car a lot harder and really get a feel for those new tyres. So that's it, and I also had a free health check and they topped my screen wash up for me, which is quite cool. So if you're thinking of buying one of these cars or just interested in the general maintenance, now you should have a rough idea what you guys should be spending on tyres. Now I'm going to answer this question because I'm sure someone's going to mention it at some point in the comments, and that is, why have I gone and got the tyres done on this when I also have the M3? Well, the truth is the tyres on the M3 are also running very, very low, and the tyres for that car are a hell of a lot more expensive than they are for this. So this car purely at the minute just gets used to driving to and from the shops. I didn't want to be pulled over by the police for having illegal tyres. That's essentially it. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. A little insight as to the maintenance of the Porsche Boxster S. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future upcoming content with the Boxster S and of course the M3. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.